Welcome in to another episode of the Radioactive Paper Cuts podcast. Of course, I'm Josh Kennedy, joined by the wonderful Noah King Bates, killing the game as always. Ready for this show? Episode 6, Herogasm. Got a lot of red flags, almost didn't happen.
Here's the thing, it really downplayed that people don't understand. Herogasm was its own comic moment, and I felt a little let down, in all honesty.
Which is crazy because we just had a giant orgy with cop shots. This is going to be a rated R podcast. It already is. We swear all the time, but we're getting explicit on this one, and it's going to be great. We'll kind of go in order because I took a bunch of notes because there was so much that happened in this episode. The first one, I was I almost forgot that happened because so much else happened. But what did you want to say about the episode overall before we take it off the top?
So yeah, as a comic book reader, me and my brother were talking about it the other day, and it for a TV show that can't pretty much be a porn, it did Herogasm the amount of justice it was gonna.
It pushed that, not porn. It was close.
So what did you think of the beginning? The opening where it pretty much warns you that this is going to be the episode.
Yeah, the disclaimer caught me off guard because I'm surprised they don't always need a disclaimer. If they need a disclaimer for this one, we're about to get into an adventure, that's for sure. I like the intro, which I wonder if you remember this. They had the Deep doing the spoof of Gal Gadot's Imagine. Yes. Off the top with all the celebrity cameos like Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis just making jokes. It was so funny.
I thought that was really it was funny. It was cool. I like the fact that didn't it have someone who's already played a superhero? I swore it had someone who's been a superhero in a different
I think you're right. I don't remember. I don't have the list of the celebrities in front of me, but there were a lot of big names that you were really? What are you doing in here making this? Oh, Patton Oswalt was one of them.
Yeah, and he's been in everything.
Yeah, he don't give up. That dude, he's in the Caesar commercials. He's Marvel's MODOK. That was very funny.
The quadruplets or whatever those kids are, in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I swear he's the voice of Pip.
Yeah, he's the Penguin in Pete Holmes' Badman sketches. So, the boy, he's a working man, and I gotta respect him for that. But yeah, he was a funny cameo. All of them, just super funny way to kick off the episode. But then we get into the actual events of what's gonna go on. First off, Homelander learns about Soldier Boy. That's kind of the first thing that happens. You can tell he's pretty scared. So that's something to write down real quick. Though, even before they meet, he knows that it's going to be a big deal. Following that, Homelander kind of confides into Black Noir, who can't speak back, but Homelander feels secure about, and then Boy just goes rogue. He says, deuces. I thought for sure he was going to run to Soldier Boy or something, but no, he's oh, Soldier Boy's alive, cuts out his tracker, goes on the run. That seems ridiculous where he handed the tracker to the random girl in the elevator. Splattered in his blood.
Yeah, and she took it. The weird thing was she held her hand out and took it.
Yeah.
If I was there, I would be nope, this is gross. Please don't.
I don't even know what you do in that situation, honestly. How did you feel about Black Noir's reaction? I think that just kind of cements that okay, we're all under the impression Soldier Boy is bad news for everyone.
Oh yeah, I thought that the fact that that Homelander confides or felt like he had this connection is a really fun nod to the fact that in the comic books, he's a clone of him. So the fact that he thinks that he's they're one and the same, I was oh, that's funny because you're not, and he killed you.
That's funny. I did. Yeah, that's a next level reference I didn't quite get.
Also, I went back because I wanted to see Kumail Nanjiani was the person that I was thinking of. He was in the Imagine thing, and he was just in Eternal. So
he was also just in Kenobi, and yeah, he's working hard. You haven't watched Kenobi yet, but he's.
I have not. I'll get there eventually.
It's a good show.
But
yeah, that's for the Star Wars Stuff podcast. Which,
they
speaking of the Star
Noir.
Wars Stuff podcast, sorry not to cut you off, but if you guys want to see our comic book club with those guys, you need to go check that out because that was a super fun time. Things went crazy, so check out that episode coming out probably later this week for sure. Continue. My apologies.
No, they also had Black Noir doing the like cards because he can't talk. I was just like replaying it so I could see it. But Noir, I really am intrigued because he has been so enveloped in mystery, and we've barely seen him this season.
Right.
That I'm really wondering is that going to be Soldier Boy's like next go-to? Is he going after Noir because he's already taken care of
the so many other twins? Gunpowder's already dead. Scarlet, whatever her name was,
the Countess.
Yeah. She's dead too. So yeah, really. I mean, was it just Noir left? There might be one or two other ones I'm not thinking of, but I think that was kind of most of the team.
Yeah, because what was his name? Swatter or Swarm or something like that.
Oh yeah, he got killed. There. Yeah. Yeah. So Black Noir probably smart to be on the run. What we got next is my next note is the MM scene where he kind of is explaining, and I was like, that was one of my favorite scenes where he is quoted saying, "White people can go berserk, but we have to turn the other cheek," type of thing. I was like, woof, that hurts. You guys better listen. That was a great scene.
I've been saying that to people for years when I explained like, oh yeah, I don't get mad or I don't show like anger. And when he said it, I was like, yep, he knows, he understands. And
he a real one. He's no A-Train.
Although, we'll get to it, but A-Train, he at least went out a little bit better.
Yeah.
He went out a little bit better.
I wrote it down. Yeah, we'll get to that eventually. But just Mother's Milk, he's done. Like, he's pissed off and he's not afraid to show it anymore, which I think is a really good thing for his character, because I think part of his like twitching is him maybe holding back some anger. I mean, that's not all of it. There's probably some anxiety to do with it as well, but holding back anger for so long, it's bound to have some sort of effect. So that was cool. I like his scene with Butcher. They're kind of like facing off there. Cut back to Homelander. He starts talking in the mirror. I felt that was very close to Norman Osborn in the original Spider-Man movie. There's a few references in this one where I was like, ooh. But once again, showing Homelander has some self-doubt when it comes to Soldier Boy. So, I mean, this whole episode sets up perfectly the actual fight that eventually happens. They're just like, hey, everybody's nervous. No one knows what's actually going to happen. And then we eventually did get to see the fight, and it was pretty legendary.
Oh, yeah. I really enjoyed the fact that we got to really, like, I've been gushing over Anthony Starr's performance of Homelander in this season alone. Like, he did an amazing job in season 1 and season 2.
Right.
But the range that we are seeing him do as Homelander, and even, like, when I look back and watch that Norman Osborn scene now as an adult, watching, like, Willem Dafoe go from manic to crazy, like, that is such a beautiful scene when you look at it now. And Anthony Starr had his own spin on it, to where I was like, oh yeah, this is definitely an homage, but he did so much more. He in his way, not in like in general, but like he didn't flip out and go Green Goblin crazy, but he went Homelander like self-doubt crazy, and I thought that was just beautiful.
Yeah, another recent example was Moon Knight. I mean, those were truly two different characters, but there's another example of them just like solid actors doing dope things with mirrors.
Yeah.
Anyway, Soldier Boy, he's got some problems like being time displaced. You can tell there's some things he's got to get over. What was one of them that he's very upset about? There's two guys walking holding hands. He thought that was weird. And then like later there's a couple of other things that he didn't get like pissed, but he just gave him the side eye, which is very much what an old man would do. Because what's he actually gonna do? Nothing.
And that's the really funny thing that when people think about, and a lot of comedians have talked about it, is Captain America was good for his time, but he was still from that time. Like, right. Yeah, he might not have been like going around calling like black people the N-word, but there would be something that he would have also been like, that's not right.
Yeah, he was very well adjusted very quickly, but that's probably a lot to do with cancel culture and him being a superhero, America's superhero to be specific. So like, yeah,
no,
we're gonna ignore that he's a guy from the 30s. He you know what? His sidekick's Falcon. Deal with it. Moving on. But yeah, he's displaced in time. He seems genuinely interested in being a good guy, at least in the hotel room scene with Huey, and I kind of buy it a little bit. I'm not fully on board with like, okay, Soldier Boy's a good person, but he at least seems more interested in being a hero than say Homelander is. So he's got that going for him.
Yeah, I mean, even back in the day, I would of us like, yeah, he was like war hungry, but I mean that was in the realm of like wanting to be America's badass, right? I mean, wanting to be America's badass like that. I didn't take it as him like just going out of his way to do stuff. So his herodom, unlike Homelander's, yeah, I would consider to be genuine skewed. He would rather be the good person. Like he said, he didn't want to blow up that building. We see through this episode that his power to like deactivate other people's powers is purely based off of his emotion.
Right.
And some weird Winter Soldier Russian music thing.
Yeah, whenever he hears Russian like voices, yeah, and something like that. So yeah, good stuff. Now we're on to the crazy bit of it all. We get introduced to the idea of I think it was like the 37th annual Herogasm. I don't know if that's 70th. The correct 70th anniversary of Herogasm. So yeah, we're going in. We didn't quite get to start seeing yet, but this is when we were first kind of told about it. And then it cuts to Homelander getting interviewed on the news, and they were going so hard at turning him into a certain political figure. He's like, it is absolutely safe to go out. I wrote, get fucked COVID. So that was very funny. I appreciated that quite a bit.
I really enjoyed I mean, we've talked about a certain political figure, but even the fact that like they all meet at Herogasm, I just thought was like this really funny thing. Like everyone is like souping up, getting ready for war.
Right.
And they're headed to an orgy. Like that's hilarious when you think about it. Like they're all getting ready to go blow people up and kill somebody.
Yeah, they're shooting up drugs to like make themselves heroes, and then they go to an orgy. It's just, yep, good stuff. Little side note here, because we kind of explore some of the other side characters before we get to the actual front door. Starlight has her face off with Victoria. She seems to be standing her ground quite a bit. Victoria is a little bit unhinged. It's something going on there. I mean, that's going to boil over by the end of this season. So I wonder what direction that's going.
Yeah, I mean, and the fact that we have not seen Victoria interact with Huey throughout, like.
Yeah, not since like episode 2 or no, episode 1 it was 2 or 3. When he found out, he never confronted her about it or even talked to her again. Started calling in sick, and he had a broken arm and this, that, and the other things. So yeah. Victoria and Huey have been separated for at least a couple weeks now, it seems.
Oh, yeah. And then we also get more, I was going to say Claire. What is that girl's name? The Vought chick who I disdain.
Oh, Ashley?
Ashley. Yeah, we got her putting on her big girl pants again in a really stupid way. But, I mean, it was warranted who she was talking to, but her interaction with A-Train after A-Train was like, hey, like, tell me where he's at.
His stupid clip right before that scene. Oh my god, just so much stupid. I was so glad.
Oh, the A-Train through Africa or whatever.
Yes, it was so stupid. I was like, God damn it, they need to stop, and they do. So I mean, I guess I respect that, but I was so annoyed. And yeah, Ashley showing up, showing she's a boss bitch, and good for her, but also she's still annoying, and I hate her.
Yeah,
Uh,
I mean, she put him in his place. She was like, "No, like we've been covering for you forever, and you're probably not even like good anymore." Which I think really lended to the final arc that we at least what we believe to be the final arc of A Train. I think that that was needed. He finally needed to hear it from someone worse than him.
it's that's something they do a lot in the show where they build someone up to be kind of a piece of shit, but they're like, yeah, but they're actually a good guy compared to this guy. It's like you're
Yeah,
all
there's
just
always
terrible
someone
humans.
shittier.
Yeah, that's exactly what my thoughts. After that, we jump over to Kamiko, and my note is poor Kamiko can't catch a break. I did write. I was like, I'm glad she knows Frenchie didn't abandon her though. Like, while she did get kidnapped, I felt like heartbroken for her because she
Yeah,
gave him a good old smooch and then he dipped out. I was like, oh, poor Kamiko.
she got she went through it.
God, she had a rough episode. Yeah, I even wrote that out. Kamiko went hard AF. Does she have her powers back?
Oh yeah, they definitely. That was I was like,
Some form of her powers. I don't know if she's full tilt back yet. I don't know. I couldn't really tell. But honestly, she was dope and got some dope kills. And then she almost got killed herself, which I was like, man, you need to leave my girl alone. She's almost died 5 times already.
yeah, the past 3 episodes.
Right? For real. But yeah, Frenchie's left to make the decision between is Nina I think Nina's the head chick, and so whatever that his ex's name is, and he has to
Yeah,
choose between her and Kamiko.
Monshare or something like that. Well,
Monshare, yeah.
Monshare is just love, but I think that's what he calls
He's
her.
what he calls her. Yeah, she has a name. Doesn't matter. He chooses neither because Kamiko's dope and does some dope moves. And the girl actually ends up helping. They take down Nina first, who seems to have escaped. She did not feel the full wrath of Frenchie and Kamiko yet, so that is yet to come. Yet another villain. This show is really good at following multiple storylines and then kind of having them all interweave with each other. Obviously, that's one of the best things about watching TV shows and movies, but it's particularly impressive in this show, I would say.
Oh yeah, they do a good job of spider webbing it where people will connect and it'll make sense. It's not like why are you here now? It makes sense on why they interact with one another.
Yep. So that scene ended up being okay. Obviously, Kamiko's not feeling so good, and but Frenchie's free. Seems to be free from Nina. They're gonna have crossovers again. I think they're gonna decide to like go after her themselves instead of being on the defense, and they're running away. They're actually gonna go at her, which is gonna make for a cool couple scenes, I would say. And now we go inside the orgy, the Herogasm. This scene was messed up, and I didn't like how one of the characters is like, you gotta feel bad for the sex workers that are here. I'm like, they're not all supers? What is happening? That's so fucking rude. Oh, man. I felt uncomfortable when freaking Mr. Freeze knockoff made a dildo. I was like, this show's not cool, bro. And like the Dynamite twins, I like how the chick, she exposes her brother for putting a camera in the toilet. In our beautiful shot of just upper asshole, large penis. That's what we get to see on the TV for an extended period of time. There was so much nudity. It was ridiculous. I can see why they put the disclaimer up front. There's people banging left and right, using weird, kinky superpowers. I was both disturbed and slightly aroused, but mostly just disturbed about this whole situation here. There's lots going on. I don't think my body knew how to react. It was very uncomfortable.
How we call that scrousal.
Scrousal. Scared arousal.
Scared and aroused. I thought again. Reading Herogasm, you can do a lot more with the picture than you can with the video. But I mean, I thought it was really funny to like see superheroes that we've seen in the past. Like we saw Love Sausage, we saw
Blue Hawk randomly showed up there. Yeah, Termite or whatever his name is. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I thought it was like fun. It was like the who's who of
Oh, I just remembered
random
Termite
characters.
came out like covered in some sort of fluid and bumped into MM like a dickhead.
You're like, what is on
It's
my
like, what is
um
this? It's so. Oh, it's not even the worst thing coming there, bud. We'll get to that in a moment. That's actually my next note, but we can go off this a little bit. Uh, Anything else about the scene worth noting in this moment?
No, I think that was the. I mean, was did
Well,
the
Huey
Q?
got in by teleporting and then he was naked himself. I guess that's worth saying.
Yeah, he worked. It worked out, and then we learned later on that like he teleport. Like I guess he can only teleport like truly organic
Yeah,
matter.
organic matter because he teleports Starlight as well.
Yeah, and her clothes are gone as well.
Yep.
But did the conversation between Huey and A Train happen before the explosion? That's what I'm going to call that.
I don't remember what the order was, so we're already on MM. MM gets hit with a pretty gnarly cum shot. Just looks like someone threw gallons of white paint into his face. You feel bad for the dude. Yeah, I was like, oh, that
Yeah,
sucks.
he didn't want that. He didn't want that.
No, he wasn't about that life. He opens the door and is embraced by the warm embrace.
the warm,
The
the
warm
warm.
white wave. It was no good, so he had to go change. And yes, Huey makes his way into the building because MM was with Starlight, so I guess that kind of then Huey comes in before he sees Starlight again. He runs into A Train. What was the reason A Train was there? Because Blue Hawk was there and he was
Yeah.
confronting him. Okay,
Yep.
yeah. So that happens. Huey's rolling around, seeing everybody banging each other. Comes across A Train, and he's feeling himself lately with these superpowers. Huey's like not taking no shit. So he was about to
Hey,
like
fuck with power.
he was gonna clock A Train for sure. Like he was
He
gonna
clocked
try.
him.
Oh, he did it anyway. But I mean, like try and murder him, and he didn't
Oh,
do so because he said you never even apologized. And A Train, completely out of character, gave a real emotional apology.
right. And it was and it's not like a oh it was genuine because we
Something
know
happened to
what's
his
going on
brother.
with his brother.
Yep. As soon as it happens to you, then you're like, oh, okay. So I accept that A Train tried to make a recovery. I still hate him. He's still a very dislikable character.
Oh
Side
yeah.
note: after Huey clocks him in the face and they kind of go their separate ways, Huey goes off with Starlight. We didn't note that Starlight, I believe it was Starlight, walked in on the deep fucking Timothy the octopus. I think it was Timothy, and I
Yeah.
wrote in my notes, I'm like, oh, Noah called it.
Oh, I know I'm not wrong. But we didn't know when he punched A Train. A Train noticed that something was off.
No,
He
yeah, for
knew that
sure.
he had powers.
Yep. Immediately, because he's like, "What the hell was that?" And it's like, you're screwed now, bud."
Which means that, like, even with his teleportation or like any form of compound V, apparently you do get some sort of like above
Above average
regular strength
strength. Yeah,
because
that's true. I
teleportation wouldn't
mean,
have changed a
his strength
punch.
at all. Yeah, I agree. I thought something similar when he punched through the guy in Russia in the first place. Like you
Mm.
could acknowledge maybe he teleported into that guy, but I think he teleported and kind of shot the fist.
Yeah, and that kind of goes with if you go by jumper rules, like the amount of speed that you like get while teleporting. Like that's how like one dude like did like a really cool punch. Like he just kept teleporting faster and faster, and he just decked a dude.
That's a fun way to do it. Well, bad things continue to happen. Soldier Boy is also investigating everything, trying to find the twins. He succeeds. Straight murder. They're dead, incinerated, and then I put it turned into a bloody orgy because he didn't pull back or stop his beam. He just, yep. It was gross. Lots of blood, lots of explosions, lots of naked bodies. I don't know, man. I was overwhelmed by this episode. It was fun. I was like, this is an intense
Great.
episode. It's very overwhelming, though. There's a lot going on.
I mean, even we had the stand down between MM and Soldier Boy, and Butcher come in and be like, nope, don't kill him. Like, I don't know why, but I mean, I know Butcher's not a likable character, but him saying that was the most demeaning stuff. Like, I know that MM wouldn't have been able to take down Soldier Boy. We all know that.
Right.
But to hit him with that, like, oh, you're not even worth it. Like I know he was trying to save his life, but he was giving him very much like, don't.
Yeah, it was bad. And then MM, he's pissed. He shouldn't have tried to take on supers, but the man's angry. You got to respect him for that. He was willing to take the punches and die, it seemed. And Butcher did step in like a good friend. He could have handled it a little differently, but he did know exactly how to make MM not go after Soldier Boy and instead go after him with a baseball bat.
And I mean, MM's not MM's not a super, but I was like, he made Butcher turn.
Yeah, it didn't feel good. I know that. Yeah, MM's a dope dude. He's quickly making his way up the ranks as far as my favorite characters in this show, especially because some characters are being terrible lately. Yep, so bloody orgy, lots of dead bodies. They're evacuating the building. Escapes. The deep escapes with his octopus. Yes, he said, I don't want to talk about this right now. Yep. Good stuff, Deep. Why did he have to go there to fuck the octopus? That's what I'm a little confused by. Like,
Herogasm, no one was gonna judge him.
That's true. You can also do it in your bathroom. Yeah, I know. I guess. Yeah.
His wife is super like, yeah. The way his wife is like interacting with him, she
got cameras.
Oh yeah, she always around. I don't trust that.
No, I don't trust her either. So, before the real face-off, we got A-Train with his dope kill on Blue Hawk. It was very similar to the Flash's super move in Injustice 2. That's how I felt about it. Just through time, dragging the bodies. I loved it. It looked so cool. The effects were great. You could tell his body was just mush from what was dragging on the ground. A-Train finally proved he still had super speed, but his little old heart couldn't take it. So I put murder-suicide, question mark?
I was gonna say, I don't know if that's gonna, because right now he's the only one who knows that Huey is taking temporary V.
Right.
And to have him die before that information is a cool thing, but I don't know. I feel like something's gonna have to come of it.
They rode him to the max on like the audience's likability for him, though, because I mean, everybody hates Homelander, but you love to hate Homelander because he's such a good villain. But A-Train, you're just like, I hate you. I hate the hero you. I hate almost everything about you. You're an idiot. He made some redemption moves, but clearly he's not a fan favorite. So if they just killed him here, I could see it. But if he continues, I might be a little upset, but not too much. Takes away the sacrifice element.
It does take away the sacrifice element. But I think that, like, we know his brother's still alive.
That's true.
He didn't really get to. So I think there will, like, even if he dies because, like, Homelander comes in and, like, muffs him or something like that.
Could happen. Run away.
I think that the way that the boys has set him up is to give him at least maybe not a fan, like a hero's death, but a death worth us going, dang. Like, and we kind of get it with this one, but I think it'll be even more impactful if Homelander just does his Homelander stuff and just murks him while he can't move.
Yeah, I could see that happening. Seems to be one of his things. So, but finally, Soldier Boy versus Homelander. Actually, I put SBV Homelander. Face off. Let's fucking go. Starts out pretty cool. Homelander seems to have a little bit of an advantage, maybe because Soldier Boy's, rusty. The trading blows quite a bit, and neither of them's backing down, but Homelander gets a bit of an advantage. And that's when everybody else turns in, and they're like, all right, this is a 3-1 fight. And it was badass. It was visually one of the coolest fights they've done so far, and they're only going to get better in their future face-offs, I imagine. But even Huey got to come in and do a little bit of damage. I was like, all right, this is what we've been waiting on. The roided out super friends, and then they're taking on Homelander.
Mm-hmm.
Dope.
Fake Jesus.
Fake Jesus.
I very much thought that the fight was beautiful. I thought that the camera work was well done. I thought it told that's the one thing that I've really been getting more into and looking at is like the story, that choreography, while I've been doing all this stuff for Music Man. But like choreography, whether it be fight choreography or dance choreography, the little story it tells within that moment and the bigger story overall that it tells. And I mean, watching Huey, like the aggression on Huey's face when he was throwing punches compared to like Soldier Boy, who was just kind of doing it because he's kind of like a gun.
Well, that's the thing, is like he might not have even wanted the smoke with Homelander. He just offered to do it for Butcher and Huey's help. So he doesn't personally have a vendetta against Homelander at the moment.
Yeah, and I feel like maybe if he truly does have that old America fight in him, he might dislike what Homelander is slowly becoming because he's getting that totalitarianism.
Yeah. I mean, he's going to see him as, he's slowly turning into the enemy, I would say, for sure, because he turned the Seven into a dictatorship without a doubt, and he's slowly conforming society to kind of go along with his ideology, which is not good and too relevant. Anyway, Homelander retreats for the first time ever. Craziness. He knew that he was going to lose, which is the first time he's probably ever experienced that in his entire life. So get to see a vulnerable Homelander, and it's different. It was certainly something to see. And do you have anything else you wanted to say about that fight? Because it was legendary.
It was. I mean, I've just gushed over the choreography for it. It was beautifully done. And then we go into what was a twist I knew was coming, but I just didn't think it was going to be happening here, and that was Starlight.
Oh, one more note right before we get to Starlight, because it happened right before. It showed the scene with Kimiko and Frenchie, and my note was just be in love already. Because I was getting so irritated. They're giving each other the googly eyes, but not kissing. I was like, I hate you two right
kiss.
Let's do it. Kiss. Anyway, yes, the Starlight angle. Continue.
So the Starlight angle, her finally realizing like being a part of the Seven might not do it, but the fame and the popularity that she grew from the Seven could do something. I thought that was a very interesting thing, and it's a nice little nod. I guess not nice, but it's a nod to the activist or the like what's the word I'm thinking? The celebrities who like go and become activists, and they use their popularity, their fame, their following to promote actual change in things.
Shout out Jason Momoa, who just did some sort of State of the Union or something like that, or he joined, I forget what it was, United Nations, like some sort of off thing for that to help with the waters around Hawaii and stuff. I was like, yeah, he's a dope dude. Also stupid. He is Aquaman. That's true. Also, unrelated, I was going through the box office like superhero success. Did you know Aquaman is the highest grossing DC movie of all time? None of the Batmans have ever beaten him. Of all time. Highest grossing one, like in the box office, obviously. I mean, 1989 Batman, their home sales are probably through the freaking roof, but no, specifically in the box office, I thought that was pretty crazy. Sorry, kind of a side note, but we are a nerd podcast, and we go very DC heavy. So Starlight using her followers to, call everyone out for their bullshit, expose Homelander, expose Vought, and then just like drop the mic. She's like, "What you gonna do?" She knows that she's gonna have the heat on her, but she also knows there's a lot of eyes on her. So if Homelander tries to make a move, he's going to lose the support of the world. And he said earlier in this episode, he wants them to love him, which is so crazy because he's being very dramatic and drastic in his actions on TV and things, but deep down he still wants to be loved by the public, and Starlight shows exactly what you should do to be loved by everyone, and she's calling him out.
Yeah,
good stuff.
And I respect that. And I mean, she is giving us like the cop who quits because he knows he can't do, or because they know they can't do anything inside the force type stuff. And I know that it kind of takes away one good cop, but I also respect it because
it's very Commissioner Gordon-esque. I mean, he continues it in GCPD, but there have been multiple times where he leaves because
he's quitting.
Yeah,
Montoya.
Exactly. Montoya is another good one. Yeah, she's one of the ones that's not corrupt. I like that. More Batman references. Let's go.
Yeah. Joe West. I could go on. You want fake cops who I believe are all right people? Joe West, Commissioner Gordon, Dick Grayson. All of
That's true. He is a cop in Titans and in the comic books. He was in Bloodhaven. Yeah. So that was the end of the episode. Starlight with the mic drop and laying down the gauntlet too. Like, she's like, "What you gonna do? We're gonna find out." And I'm excited, man. Is there gonna be just Homelander versus everybody, or is there gonna be some like switching sides? Is there gonna be little battles in between? I don't know what's gonna happen, man. I'm excited though. This show is great. And,
and Huey and Starlight are officially done good.
Yeah, they're done. He left her behind yet again. I'm like, God, have you seen her? Just suck it up, bro. Like, I'm so annoyed with you.
She's a good person.
Obviously. I was just...
Of all the people to follow, you follow the good-looking one who's also not a dick.
That's right. My thought. Yeah, Anthony Starr is also good-looking. Not the guy to follow here.
Yeah. I'm not out here trying to follow the deep.
Yeah, they're all very good-looking people. One weird because they're all actors. I wonder how that happened. Anyway, shout out to those guys. The Boys is great. Episode 6, Herogasm. 10 out of 10. One of my favorite episodes of the show so far. Can't wait to really go deep and
10
find
warm
out
white waves out of 10.
10 warm white waves. They should make that just like a seasonal White Claw flavor and see what happens there. Got him. All right. Thanks for listening, guys. Love you. Check out the Comic Book Club edition for the Star Wars from the Journals of Obi-Wan Kenobi. We did that as a co-release with the Star Wars Stuff podcast. It was a super fun time. Check it out and have a good one.